A very good evening traders. Welcome to the next post-trade analysis video. In this video, I am going to share a trade that I had taken, which unfortunately came out to be a disaster. There was a massive loss in this one. We will look out for the reasons why it went as a disaster. If you guys are into it, you must have heard the saying, trend is your friend, or ride the trend, or trade with the trend until the end where it bends. These all sayings refer to the same concept, that is, find out what the trend is and then trade accordingly in that trend. In markets, there are three types of trends. First one is uptrend, in which price makes consistently higher highs and higher lows. Next one is the downtrend, that is exactly opposite of uptrend. In this trend, price makes lower lows and lower highs consistently. Then comes the sideways trend. In this trend, market trades in a flat pattern. It forms a resistance and a support, and price fluctuates between this support and resistance consistently. It neither takes out the resistance nor it breaks down the support, and that is what makes a sideways trend. So in this trade, the equity was in a continuous downtrend. On the daily time frame, it was forming lower lows and lower highs, and after a long down move at a support zone, I thought of entering. I anticipated that the results are near, and if there is something good in the results, then price may bounce back a little bit. I was not expecting any big move, just a slight up move, and I would have booked my profits. However, though the results were good, but it did not meet the expectations of people. And you know what happens when there is unexpected news? There is saying that a good news or a bad news is not a danger. The real danger is when it goes out of expectations. When people expect something good, it is already factored in the prices, and same goes with the bad news. However, when there comes something unexpected, that is when there is a violent move, and that is what happened in this scenario. Though the results were good, earnings grew and also profits year on year, but this increase was not expected. People expected something more, and when those expectations were not met, there was a sharp fall, a fall of around 7%, and with this my loss grew up to, as you can see here. So with a heavy heart, I booked it and shifted my capital to some other good equity, which I found at a good discount level. Now we will move on to the screen and analyze the charts with detail. If you guys are watching it on Instagram, you will get a link to the full video in the description. Please check it out. Please do like and subscribe to this channel. Am I audible? We have come up on the screen, and on the screen we are watching weekly time frame, and the equity is Trent Limited. This is one of the worst performing equities of the Nifty 50, which in a year has fallen about 30 to 40%. A top 50 company falling about 30 to 40% in a year is a great deal. So on the weekly time frame, we can see that there was a slight rally. It was moving up slightly, gradually, slowly in the year 2021 to 2023. At the end of 23, the price was somewhere around 1700. Then when the major bull run started in Nifty, and all the equities of Indian markets rallied, Trent rallied like anything. It was a multi-bagger then. From 1700 levels, within a span of 1.5 years, it rose up to 8400. If we take 1700, 17 5s are 85, that means it gave a massive return of 500% within a span of 1.5 years. Then after that, the correction in Indian markets started, and in this correction, this stock fell like anything. From the top levels, it started falling. Here there was a character change. Until here, it was in an uptrend. But then when this higher low was breached, it changed its character, and for the whole year 2025 it has been trading in this range, the support at 5000 and resistance at 6000. Now let's move on to daily time frame. Let me zoom out the chart a bit. Okay, here when from 8500 when it fell, it first took a support at 6500, then there was a slight pullback, and this pullback lasted up to 7300. That is the starting of 2025. Then it started declining again, where it made a low of 4600 somewhere in April. Then there was a slight recovery. This recovery took resistance at 200-day moving average, that comes out to be 6100. Then there was a gap down. Then it was trading in a range. Recently it came to the lower end of this trading range. Then when it was trading in this downward sloping parallel channel. Now let me move the chart to 1 hour time frame. Let me zoom in a bit, then the candles will be clear. So here when it was trading somewhere here, I took a note of this equity, and from 4600 I saw a rise. I saw it rising up to 4850. Then gradually it started coming down in the form of downward sloping parallel channel. I took this as an opportunity, and precisely at 4750 levels on 30th of November I entered long. I kept my stop loss in my mind. I kept a mental stop loss of 4583 or somewhere around 4600. After my entry, I could see that every day it would form a big red candle at the starting hour, and then for the whole day it used to trade in the downward part of this big red candle. Some days the pattern would be opposite, it would give a rise. However, the next day all the rise would be wiped out with a big red candle. This pattern continued all day, and I was expecting for the results. I was waiting for the results day. I expected that since already it is at a lower levels, if something good happens in the results, then it might shoot up to levels of at least 4850. At this resistance it might come up, and since it is a volatile equity, 4850 was a good target level for me, I thought at that moment. However, something else was in my fate. Till results day it started coming down, forming the same pattern, a big red candle. Whenever it went up to 4700, the selling would come. See this green candle and the immediately next red candle. Then this candle, which has a tail on the upper side, it tried to breach 4700 but found selling pressure and came down. Just before the results day, it came down at levels of 4600, just where I had kept my mental stop loss. Then there was weekends, and the results came during the weekends, and on Monday in the pre-market hours I saw it trading at a 1.5% down. I thought this is a decent move. 1.5% is not a big deal, but as soon as the markets opened, it came crashing down 6% up to 4300, and at this level my loss was 47,000. And at this level I was not willing to book losses, because it is because in some days I'm sure there will be a slight rally that all those who have went short here, they will be booking profits, and in this profit it may reach up to levels of 4400. And so thinking that, I did not book the loss yesterday. However, today I found some other equity, a good equity, trading at a discount price. And so when there was a slight rally in it, when prices were at around 4320 levels, I booked the loss of 43,000 and moved my capital to that equity, where I'm expecting a good return in few days. So the lesson to learn from this equity is that this equity is in a downtrend. See, first lower low, then lower high, then again a lower low and a lower high. This lower high has not been breached, and so unless this one is breached, we can't there is no change in character. The downtrend is intact for this equity, and so it is still in a downtrend. So in a downtrend, we should not go long. That is what the phrase "trend is your friend" means. And I went long against the trend, and that is the major mistake I made in this trade, and that I paid a heavy amount for this mistake. That was all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed my analysis. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also press the bell icon to get notifications of latest videos. I would like to give a shout out to my new subscriber, though I don't know his name. A big shout out to him for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And with this lucky subscriber, my subscriber count has reached to the lucky number 7. Hope you guys subscribe to it. Hope more guys like my videos and subscribe to my channel, and this way my channel grows. Adios amigo, powering off. See you in the next video. That was all about today's report. Please like this video and subscribe the channel to get notifications of latest videos. Bye bye traders. See you in the next report. Adios amigo, powering off.